password. Oh, hopefully it's what it always is, right? But there's always like that one website or that one thing that you didn't have enough characters or something to use your current password or you changed it. And my favorite is when it tells you that your password is wrong and then you go to reset it. So you try to use the password that you thought it was, and then it's like, oh, you can't use that password because that was your previous password. And you're like, what? But I just tried that and you said it was wrong, right? And then you start like having a mental breakdown and then you have to have therapy because of your login. So cool. All right. It's beautiful. It's looking beautiful outside today. Good morning, Michelle. Yay, Friday. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be like. I have a speaking event in the morning, so I'm really super excited about that. It's going to be lots of fun. Good morning. Hello, Lisa. I was like pulling through all of my books this morning, trying to find some like beautiful little something that I wanted to talk about today, and it just wasn't ringing. It just wasn't ringing with me. So this is what we'll do. We're going to do impromptu, sock it to them. Let's talk about this. This is a good one. Okay, energy, healing, and medication. That's a good one. Vacation, where are you going? Hopefully somewhere cool. We have spring break coming up, but it is at the very end of the month, very first of April, I think, something like that. But I won't be going anywhere because I just don't like to travel. Like, in fact, yesterday, I told Dave that Tayson was going to go have a sleepover at Granny Poppins' house because of my speaking event in the morning. And Dave's like, oh, I'll take you on a date tonight. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, where do you want to go? And I was like, here. And I said, can we not go anywhere? I just want to stay home. This is such my happy place. I don't want to go out. Like, right? I don't want to be where the people are. I just want to be here, this beautiful, my little sanctuary. But I'll tell Dave, like, you're welcome to like do dinner or something. I just don't want to go out. Okay. So energy healing and nice. Don't crash. Be safe. Energy healing and medication. What do I think about this? What do I think about when a client comes to me and, here's what the sad part is when a client comes to me and we're talking and I'm like, okay, tell me what you got going on, all your pain, physical, internal, whatever, emotional things that don't fit into those categories. And then and when we get to the emotional part, if they're like, I have anxiety, depression, whatever, and I'll say, so I'm taking medication. And they say that as though it's like, I robbed a bank. I killed, a bird. Like it's very grief filled and almost like you get into this mindset that you're a failure because you took medication. And so I want to address this because getting on medication saved my life at one point. And even though I'm an energy healer and I'm absolutely into beautiful energy and being able to clear things out and doing this all on, a level where your subconscious heals itself, I am not going to ever tell somebody that you should not use medication if it is helping you. Okay. So that's the key thing. Are you getting on medication because you're trying to hide and you just want to suppress everything and you're running around in a state of numbness? Or are you getting on medication because it takes the edge off? It allows your brain to slow down a little bit so you can start the process of healing. And so I'll share with you my story. So hopefully it gives some of you some strength to know that I really think that it can be a great thing, right? It can be a really effective way to balance things that otherwise you may just not quite reach without some super intensive therapy and some super intensive energy sessions and some super intensive life changes, but sometimes it just takes the edge off enough that you can start processing things and working on stuff. And so after Kinley passed away, those of you that may not have followed me, she was our little girl, and she passed away when she was 26 days old. And at my 6-month follow-up with my OB, I went into her, and I mean, looking back at it now, basically, I just tried to be like, okay, she passed away, done. I just tried to be done with it. I tried to like mentally wrap my head around like, I can't change this. There's nothing I can do. She's gone. I went back to work the day after her funeral. I tried to just like jump right back into my life and almost treat it as though it just didn't happen. Because I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to live through it. I didn't want to address it. And so I just went back on my merry way. And I remember going to my OB and saying to her at 6 months after, saying, sometimes I really struggle with my daughter passing. That's okay, right? And thank goodness she was like really good about the way that she worded stuff or the way that she said something. And she said, you know, I could put you on something to help you with that. And I was like, no. And understand that I came from a world where I was a pilot, and pilots are not allowed to take medication. So you cannot take anything like that. And so it was really drilled into my head that that's a bad thing, on top of just like normal culture telling you that it's bad. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. She said, will you at least, so she knew who my family practitioner was. And she said, will you at least talk to your family practitioner and see, you know, what he thinks? Just talk to him. And I was like, I don't want to, right? I don't do appointments. I don't want to, but there was enough there that I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. You know, she probably said something that I don't remember, you know, that encouraged me to do it, maybe released a little bit of that guilt feeling. So I did it. I made an appointment, and I hesitantly, very hesitantly went to this appointment. And I remember getting pissed off because when I first got there and they handed me the sheet, right? And it's like, are you suicidal? Are you happy? How many times in the past 5 days have you been happy? Like one of those, right? Questionnaires. And I remember handing it to the med tech or whatever she was. And I was like so embarrassed that I was there because I felt like I was having a mental issue. And I just, it was really tough. And I went in, and I remember being in there, and I still like super resistant, trying to tell him like what was going on, but like, hey, you know, I'm just feeling down, whatever. I'm trying to like justify through my emotions. And so he says to me, something along the lines of, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. And I was like, well, it is. I feel like a failure. And he's like, well, you're not. And he said, so, you know, maybe it's just like a little bit, enough to take off a little bit of the edge. And I was like, nope, I don't want to be walking around in a zombie state. I've seen this happen before to people where they're just not even functioning anymore, and they're like not there because they're all medicated up, and I don't want to float through my life right like that and not be able to feel stuff. And so he was really good about it. And he said, I really understand. He said, I'm going to put you on a super, super tiny dose. And that way, if you don't like it or it makes you feel weird or whatever, just stop taking it. And I was like, okay, great. You know, I'll do that. So, he ended up prescribing me something, and it didn't work at all. I was so tired. I could not even function. I was exhausted, but I could see or feel how much it was helping with like my agitation and my anxiety. And so I still a little reluctantly went back and got on something else that was just the key. So 2 things there is, you're not a failure if you take some medication to help take off that anxiety and that edge. Second, if you get on something and it's not working, reach back out to whoever prescribed it to you and try something different. There are a million different combinations and a million different things that you can get and that you can try to find that magical one that sort of helps the chemical balance in your body. And so, yeah, I ended up getting on something and it was super, super small amount. Like they called it like a pediatric dosage because it was so small, but it was just enough. And after I got on it, I was like, oh my gosh, it was very eye opening for me because I realized that for whatever, however old I was, 38, 39, something, that for my entire 39 years of life, I had been struggling with severe anxiety and I did not know it. And it was causing me to be angry. It was causing me to not want to do daily tasks. Like after I got off work, I was too overwhelmed and too exhausted to go to the grocery store. It was just, and then I would get agitated and irritated and I would be short with people. And it was causing me to have reactions to people's responses. And I realized that I was using my daughter's death as like a way to almost like project onto other people because I was angry and I was like, you don't know what I've been through. Don't treat me like that. I lost my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And it was very unhealthy. I wondered what you were doing. You lost your keys at work, or your key to your house. But I realized I was projecting. And so it was very much a moment where that gave me the ability to reflect on what was going on with me. And it just really, really saved me. It saved my life, honestly. I was going down a very deep, dark place. So that is my opinion on medication, even as an energy healer. Um, there isn't anything wrong with it. Just be mindful of what you're doing with it and don't use it as a way to just be like, I'm just going to take this and then I'm going to, rabbit hole myself and not ever deal with anything in life. Take it so that you can work on being able to start your journey, start working on things. So, that eventually you can get at a point where if you want to, and you're like, I'm going to try to see if I can do this without this. And you've developed these healthy habits and you've cleared things out and you're now in a state where you're, addressing all those shadows and you're not hiding anymore, but it can be a beautiful thing. Okay, let's talk about socks. So Michelle, you are the winner. So you were the winner. Send me your mailing address. I'll send you these super cute socks. You'll get a free session and you can use it for yourself. You can give it to a friend, whatever you'd like to do. And then socks that I'm wearing today, Lisa, you will love. So I found these super cuties and I do have an extra pair, so I will be giving them away. Here we go. I'm wearing these today. Aren't they cute? And you can't really tell, but they're actually textured. So the little bees are fuzzy. So cute, so fun for spring. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful Friday. And don't forget, love yourself. Just be the authentic you. It looks good on you. Don't hide from who you are. That's the worst thing you can do. We're all a little quirky. We're all a little silly. We're all a little wacky in our own little way. But own it, live it, love it. See you later.